Welcome in everyone to the day one of our incredible 3-day challenge with Anik Singal. Before we get started, I just want to first of all just invite you and say thank you that you took some time out of your busy days in entrepreneurship and just jump right in to something like this. So we're excited for it. And then in addition to that, let me go ahead and make sure the room is all set up. In addition to that, you'll notice that as you join our Zoom call, inside of the Zoom account, our chat is intentionally disabled. And that's by design because we want you to interact with us in all of the social pages out there for high level. My preference is our Facebook page just in general. So if you go out there, if you don't even have a Facebook account, I mean, I'm sorry, if you don't have access to our Facebook group for whatever reason, you can still watch it inside of our page. Let me go ahead and make sure we are good to go as people are coming in. I'm going to actually open up the Facebook page. So if you can go over, if everybody can go over to High Level's public Facebook page, which the link is here available in the Zoom chat. I want everyone to go over there and you see the streaming that is live right now. You see me in there. I see a few more people watching. So I want you to tell us what city and state you are checking in from, and I am going to monitor and look at the comments here. So go to the link that's provided in the Zoom chat for our Facebook page, or find the Facebook page on your own. Go there and see the streaming that's pinned on the top of the page, and you'll see that we are live. Okay, I see some folks from Cambridge, UK, Houston, Texas. That's where I'm at. Oakville. Let's see, Ontario. We've got Georgia in the house. Let's see. Uh, Canal, Winchester, Ohio, north of Seattle. So I'm seeing a lot of people from different time zones. So welcome in, welcome in. Now, without any further ado, let me go ahead and bring Anik to our stage here. Anik and I met several months back. I feel like we went over to Orlando at his Webinar Con event. So if you have not ever heard of Anik, here's what I'll tell you. Anik is the CEO of a company called Learn and Learn Inc. And he sold well over $64.8 million in the last 3 years and helped create multiple nine-figure businesses, especially in the online product sales. Onyx is a serial entrepreneur, speaker, best-selling author, and devoted philanthropist. He started his entrepreneurial journey in 2002 as a college student in the University of Maryland. Since then, has built 9 successful companies while scaling to $30 million a year and plus. Anik is one of the one of the world's foremost authorities in entrepreneurship, and having taught over 500,000 entrepreneurs all over the world. He's the founder of CEO of Learn Inc. and it's a Business Week top young entrepreneur, two-time incorporated, 500 plus CEO recognition. And one thing I'll tell you about Anik's current focus is he's teaching entrepreneurs of all industries to get compliant and stay compliant with FTC rules and regulations after having undergone almost a 18-month battle of FTC himself. And Anik is doing this through the series of compliance summits as well as creation of a patent software designed specifically for compliant marketing. And I'm excited about the software. We may or may not talk about it too much at this workshop, but I know he's in the early stages of launching it, and we had talked about it at his Webinar Con event. But Anik is someone I have a lot of respect for. They know how to do a lot of these events. They've got a great group of people, and you got some really smart, intelligent people along behind side him, like Sarah, Parvik, and a ton of people there. But either way, Anik, welcome in to our community of high level. We are so glad you said yes to us. It feels it's such an honor to have someone like you just join us, man.
Well, first of all, wow, what an intro. Thank you for that. I'm glad we've got that recorded, and I'm going to listen to that every morning when I wake up. It is my honor to be here. Welcome. Thank you for everybody else in this community who's welcoming me in. I will tell you that I have been courted, so to say, by many other platforms, SaaS companies that have wanted me to endorse them or be behind them or partner with them. And I've never seen a true reason to consider it, and just being honest, until I met this team. And I'll tell you, before I saw the high level product, I knew the team. And I've always said products are secondary to the people behind them, because the people behind them define the product, right? So if a product's not great, but the people are, the product will eventually be great. And if the product is great, but the people are not, the product will eventually not. So just a shout out to everyone that is in the high level team, including yourself, Paulson. You've been amazing to work with, and from the founders down. And then, you know what? The other thing I want to give a big shout out to is the community. I think one thing I find about the high level community, it's a doers community. These people are out there doing. We're not just talking. We're not just rah-rahing. We're doing, and I love that. My background is in tactical training. I'm not your theoretical guy. I'm not going to get up here and use big words and confusing analogies to make myself sound smarter and wow you through analogies that, are just you've never heard of. I break things down to the simplest forms, and I teach for retention. I teach for execution, is what I've always said. So I love that about this community, because that's exactly what this community does. So this is my first opportunity and event to do with you guys. I'm pumped. I am bringing to you what is my best training over the next 3 days, the things I train you on and the things I share with you. I'm not making this up. This is true. You can ask them. The only other room in which I have trained any of this or used any of these slides, in the past, of course, last week I did this same summit with my list, but before that, you had to be a part of my $25,000 a year mastermind. That was the only people that got this training. So you're not going to be disappointed at all. That is my goal. I'm going to have you have
Absolutely.
massive, massive wow moments. Um, and I'm excited, Paulson. So whenever you
Yeah.
give me the thumbs up, man, I'm gonna take
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, so we are in the early stages of just getting started. We're going to spend about an hour and a half max at today's call because we have tight schedules. So I want to rapid fire quick as we can. How many of y'all are excited? Give me a one in the chat, in the Zoom pages. I'm sorry, the Facebook pages, if you are excited for us to get started with the actual content and get right to it. And in case if you're watching this randomly and you didn't even know that this was happening, this whole entire 3 day event that we're launching is around funnels that scale. Now, when you hear that, you want to pay attention to the authority that it comes from. And I assure you, Anik and his team are very credible in the content that they're providing. And these are strategies, things that they've learned from their past, plenty of mistakes that we've all made. On top of that, like Anik said, this is part of his very core inner circle of people that he usually shares us with. So, I'm so pumped that he's this generous to giving away this entire content. And by the way, if you stay through, we will have bonuses and things like that. Anik is working on a snapshot that he's going to be giving away, but we're not going to release it too early. So stay put. So funnels at scale. Day one is going to be around scalable offers. That's the main thing that we're going to talk about, as you can use it to liquidate your ad spend and be profitable out of the gate. Day two, tomorrow, Tuesday, okay, is around scalable funnels, because you have to have a conversion system of some kind that converts that traffic into something that you can really, really build on. And day three is around scalable traffic. So we're going to talk about platform, audience management, things of that nature. And as you have questions and concerns and ideas and things that you may even want to contribute, feel free to chat in to the pages that are live. We're live right now on almost every platform, I believe 9 or 11 platforms all at the same time. We can see all comments from all platforms. Okay. If you are inside of the Zoom, you're in the front of the class, and I noticed that, so I appreciate you being there. But regardless, we'll start this exactly at the same time next 2 days as well. And towards the end of each day, depending on how much time we have, we may or may not do a Q&A. In case if we don't have time to do a Q&A, we'll rapid fire through the questions that you have commented. And when you do have those questions, type in the word Q or question before you type in your actual question. So that way we know that's an actual question versus all the comments that are coming in. But without any further ado, Anik, let's get started with the content. Let's go right into it without wasting any more time.
Yeah, love it. All right. Awesome, everyone. Well, I'm going to share my screen here. By the way, one thing, okay? It's Monday, 12 p.m. here. I don't do events until later in the day. I don't do events on Monday. I'm that entrepreneur that loves to have my own sluggish timeline and do what I want when I want. I'm an introvert. So, what am I getting at? I need your energy. I need you guys to be super, super commenting on all the platforms. I see it too. I have a couple of platforms lined up here. So do me a favor, okay? Right now, let's bring that energy up one level higher. Give me a yes in the chat. Let me just see the yeses pour in, gets me pumped, and then let's dive right in. All right. I love this. Shani says, same. Let's do this. Um, and Shani, you win the prize for the are there going to be recordings or replays? Those are two questions that I always get. All right. Love you guys. Let's get going. So today is officially day one. Please mark your calendars for all 3 days because you're not going to want to miss, and they build upon each other. Today, I'm going to share with you how a business actually has a chance of growing to 8 figures. Now, right out the gate, let me talk about a few things. First of all, guys, I am going to give you training. I'm going to talk about my results. And I can't teach how to build an online business without sometimes slipping and talking about numbers. But I want you to understand from the get-go that I can't guarantee, nor do I guarantee, nor do I make any insinuations as to what results you're going to have or could have. Okay. I'm talking about my experience. I've been doing this 21 years now. Great team, great audience, great brand. I'm going to show you how to build all that, but be safe, be careful, and make sure you, ask questions if we can help and support in any way. But what I want to show you is that most people do not have the correct foundation. So let's say you were building a home, right? This is going to be where I told you I break everything down into the simplest concepts. If you're building a home and you go to a contractor, the concrete's already been poured. The foundation is there. The plan was done to build a home that's 4 floors. They've begun construction. You go to the contractor, say, change my mind. I want it to be 20 stories. Contractor's going to look you right in the eyes and just say, too bad, so sad. We can't build 20 stories unless we completely wipe the slate clean and start again. That foundation can only handle 4 stories. That's what you told us you wanted. So that's how this works. What is the foundational concrete for building a business that even has a chance to hit 8 figures in the info space? So I also want to be careful here to say, like, look, some of what I'm saying today may or may not apply to you if you're a plumber, may or may not apply to you if you sell tchotchkes on e-commerce, but this is specifically to coaches, consultants, agencies, info marketers. You sell courses, okay? I'm going to give you 4 functions that have to exist inside of your business. Offer functions. Notice I didn't say 4 specific offers, but functions. It'll make sense in a second, okay? I'm also going to go over this today. Now, this is something I've been training a lot on about the last 18 months, and people have absolutely loved it. I had to sit down, and I always have to simplify everything. So I sat down and asked myself a question. Based on the fact that I've built multiple businesses that have scaled, what is it that I'm doing? There's always, in my opinion, a formula, okay? I didn't used to think this up until maybe about 7, 8 years ago when I was challenged by somebody to teach them how to write copy, which I thought there's no formula in my head. I thought I've just learned by doing, and turns out there was a formula. I think you can go to any top person. You want to go to Michael Phelps, who's a top Olympian athlete? Here's a formula. He can tell you the formula to how he became so good at that sport. Now, whether you like it or not, that's your problem, right? But there's a formula. In my case, I have what I call the pentagon of scale. So does everyone have to scale their business? No. All right. My job is to show you what I did to scale. You pick where you want to stop or scale or where you want to go. So we're going to talk about this pentagon today. There's 5 parts of it. And I think that all 5 parts are necessary. And once you dial in all 5 parts, that's when the music begins. That's when everything is so synergistic. Okay. During this 3-day challenge, we're going to focus on the first 3. We're going to focus on offer, convert, and acquisition. And the other 2 probably will cover in some future date. I'm happy to come back and always train and talk to the high level community. So when I implemented this 5-point framework, I don't want to go too crazy, guys. I hate doing this stuff, like all of my stuff, but I'm new to this community. Some of you may or may not know who I am. First of all, let me ask a question. Can you give me a 1 if this is the first time you're ever seeing me? You've never had exposure to me. I just like to know. And because this is my first time in this community, this is my resume. The only reason I'm showing you these numbers is that this is my resume. This isn't any form of indication of what you can or cannot get. As a matter of fact, these results are ridiculous. Took me 20 years to get. You're probably not going to get them. But since 2015, I've sold 247,000 courses. I just want you to process that. That's a lot. And I learned a lot doing that. In a 3 year window, not the past 3 years, but in a 3 year window, we were able to do $64.8 million in revenue. In 1 year alone, I did over $10 million in profitable ad spend. We have collected hundreds of thousands of leads. And I've also done a lot of organic marketing now. Only sharing this, been around the block. Okay. So the systems you see today have been stress tested. All right. I've built the best team I'm proud of. I've sold products from $1 to actually the true number now is $1 to $300,000, not about 150. I've done every type of funnel you can imagine, but tomorrow and today a little bit, but mostly tomorrow we're going to talk about only three. That's right. I've taken about 30 funnels I've tested, brought it down to basically three that you can scale and self-liquidate. And so what's the catch today? Let's get it out of the way. Anyone know what the point of today is? What's the catch? Why is Anik giving us so much valuable content? I want to sell you high level. Da-da-da, that's it. Actually, I don't want to sell you anything. I just want to convince you to try it for free. And for those of you who already have it, good for you. All right. But I don't have any, just so we're clear, I don't have any $1,000, $2,000 products to sell you. I don't have a book a call with me. None of that. That's the big reveal. All right. I really want to honor this new partnership that I have with High Level. So I'm pouring into the community and I want to continue to do it as much as they welcome me back. So let's
And
talk
just
about number
to
one. This is where we start.
Yeah, Anik,
Yeah.
just to clarify, what he's meaning is as part of this 3-day workshop, we're going to provide a 30-day trial to those of you that don't have a high level account, and we'll provide details on that later. And that's the golden ticket that's going to allow you to build these funnels and workflows and things like that. Gives you a full month to get started. So we'll provide all of that, all the resources behind it as well, but just stay put here. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but just wanted to clarify that so then
No.
we don't get a bunch of messages about, hey, I already have high level. What do I do?
No, and listen, if you already have high level, good for you. That's amazing. Stay. I'm this is not the reason I said what's the catch today and got it out of the way is guys, I know you're used to seeing marketers that come on and they do these like articulated webinars that are psychologically manipulatively meant to sell you into something. I've not done that here. This is genuinely training that leads with a offer to get go high level free. If you already have high level, good for you. I don't have anything else for you, but the training is epic. It's really, really good stuff. So take notes, which leads me to number one. Let's get started. Okay. The first part of the Pentagon, okay, is your offer. I cannot stress this enough. After 21 years of being a marketer, this is where it begins and this is where it ends. Guys, I know Frank is a big supporter of High Level. He's here all the time. He said something that I loved. Okay. So I've known Frank since the early days when we
You talking
all
about Frank
started around the
Kern?
same
Talking
time.
about Frank Kern,
Frank
right?
Kern. Yeah. Sorry. Frank Kern. So yeah, sorry. Frank Kern is what I'm talking about. So Frank said something and I want to highlight this. Frank said, everyone says I'm the god of internet marketing and I'm so good at internet marketing. I'm actually not good at internet marketing at all. What I'm really good at is I'm trying to like, I can't really do the Frank type of talk, but his style. But what he said, what I'm really good at is I just really good at making offers that people want. And it's so simplistic, but I'm like, yes, it really comes down to that. And the analogy I always use is this. Look, I don't like golfing. Everyone in my family loves golfing. I don't love it. I don't get it. I don't want to golf. I have not 1 ounce of me wants to go golfing for 8 hours on a Saturday. I don't want to do it. So tomorrow, if someone comes up to me and says, Anik, these are the same golf clubs, same brand that Tiger Woods uses. They're $10,000 golf clubs. I'll give it to you right now, 75% off. They're only $2,500 for the golf clubs. Don't want them. Wrong offer, wrong audience. You could discount that thing as much as you want. I don't want it. Right? So you got to give people what they want. So you can make the best pitch, the biggest discount, best funnel. I don't want it. And so I use a very, very obvious example to drive home a point. It all begins at the offer. I will tell you right now, I have spent my entire life making good offers, maybe very good offers. I have not spent my whole life making excellent, irresistible offers. And yet still I got to where I am. But when I started working on this and teaching this stuff about 18 months ago, I realized, damn, Anik, you need to start really focusing on your offer. It needs to be an absolute no-brainer. And so I'm obsessing over this stuff even more. And that's what we're going to focus on all of today, is how to create that killer stack that makes it even possible for you to scale. Number two is convert. So look, when you've got an amazing offer, you've got to have a mechanism through which you can get it in front of people, right? There's got to be a funnel, right? And then there's got to be words on the pages that represent that excellent offer. When your offer is damn good, the words don't matter as much and the funnel doesn't matter as much. It still matters, but I'll use another extreme example. So if I come to you right now and I've got a Lamborghini and I'm like, listen, this is a real Lamborghini. Here's Lamborghini's certification documents. Here's the CEO of Lamborghini's phone number. Call him right now. This thing is legit. It's backed up by Lamborghini. It's a $350,000 car. Give it to you for 10 grand right now. For a minute, just assume you absolutely believe me. You've got all the validation you need. You're buying that car. Irregardless of the words I use, you'll do whatever you want with it. You see the opportunity in that. So that's why I try to say, I like convert. It's important, but I hate to say this, and I'm sorry for all the copywriters out there. It's just not as important as it used to be. It just isn't, okay? Now we come to acquisition. Super important. Acquisition is the process in which you get people to your website. So it's great that you've got this great funnel and you've got an amazing offer, but if a tree falls in a forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? I've always heard that question, right? You know what my answer has been since I was a little kid? This is so funny. This is how you know you're an entrepreneur. Since I was a kid, my answer has always been, who cares? But that answer carries a lot of weight. Someone says, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? And I'm like, who cares? Because no one was there, right? So same here. You make the best funnel, the best offer, nobody ever comes to see it. So true scale comes from paid acquisition. But you cannot go to paid acquisition. You cannot go to paid traffic right away. It's a death trap. So on Wednesday, we're going to go over what I call the OPI model. I'm going to give you the exact sequencing of traffic that you need to do in order to start an offer, test an offer, refine an offer, scale an offer. And I'm going to give it to you in such a way that you're protected. You don't end up being one of the victims of paid traffic. I love paid traffic. It's the easiest way to scale any business. All right. Number 4 is monetization. I cannot wait to do a future session with you guys on this, because I would tell you that of all the things, I'm known a lot for my copywriting. But if anyone really asks me what I'm the best at, what my superpower is that's helped my business get to where it is, it's actually number 4. It's in monetization. So what's monetization? You know what monetization is? This thing we're doing right here. This event we're doing is an exact example of monetization. By the way, are you guys okay if I just use you as an example? I love to do this stuff because I think if I can show you how we're converting you, how our specific techniques are working on you right now, it turns people into believers, because you can see it's not evil, it's not manipulative, it's not woo, but it works. And I want to be able to show you how we're doing this, how it's going to work on you. I want to be able to show you how to do this for you and for your audiences, right? So I'm going to basically show you everything I'm doing to you. So this event run by High Level is a monetization event. What does that mean? High Level's built this huge audience, and it's important to High Level to keep them engaged and keep them excited. Now, High Level's community's got tens of thousands of people. Do you think that every single one of them is using High Level? How many of you right now, give me a number 1 in the chat if you do not have yet an active High Level account? You're in the community, you enjoy it, you have nothing but warm and fuzzy feelings for High Level, but you're not paying them yet, right? And hey, by the way, High Level has warm and fuzzy feelings for you too, as do I. But we'd all much prefer you pay us, right? We'd all much prefer that you be customers. And so when you're in that audience, that's where the pot of gold lays. And so you've got to focus on that audience. I'm really good at this. And I don't mean any of that manipulatively. Nothing I do today is good. You're going to see it. It's serving. Right? It's just transparent serving. I started this webinar with saying, my goal and intention is to get you to buy High Level. Okay, great. Got that crap out of the way. Now let's go focus on some good content. But monetization is when you run these fun events, when you run internal monetization things, you run a new offer, you run a new video, you run a new webinar, you run a new masterclass, you run a new something, challenge or summit to take the people that you already have attention with and dig deeper with them on the relationship, whether you get them to spend their first dollar or deepen their relationship with you by buying the next thing. That's monetization, and it's literally vital to building and scaling a business. So many businesses I know that will pay an arm and a leg to attract an audience, and once that audience is in their ecosystem, they do nothing with them. They almost ignore them, which is so sad because that's your best audience. Last but not least, let me give you guys a example of how today went down. You ready? Um, I woke up this morning, probably around like 7. Took care of the babies. My wife and I, we have a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old. She just turned 5 months today.
Congrats,
Um,
man.
and so, thank you. Yeah, thank you. That is a testament to her grandparents and her mother. I'm definitely doing the least of everybody, so I'm very, very, very grateful. Um, but I got up, I played with the babies. I had a couple of calls. I went downstairs. I'm working on that software you spoke about, and which still has a bit of a runway, but we're making huge progress on it. I spent time with that, and then I was working on some really cool stuff. By the way, it happens to be for high level. That's like a month away. So Paulson doesn't even know about it. Nobody knows about it. High level doesn't even know about what I'm working on right now, and I'm excited about it. So, and then at 11 o'clock, I went and got ready. At 11:45, I walked into the studio. I had no idea. So when I walked into the studio, I sat down. My presentation was in front of me. Porvik had done all the work to make sure we were set up. Paulson and High Levels team had done everything. Guys, this is the power of team. I am able to be very good at what I am very good at, and I don't have to worry and fill my head with the intricacies of the rest of it. And I know that right now you may not be at a place where you need that level of team, but you will eventually. And if you want to grow and scale, you've got to learn to delegate, but to delegate correctly. I was just having a conversation with someone today about my hiring processes. They were like, "How do you do this?" And I was explaining how I do it. And they go, "Oh my God, that's a lot of work." I said, "I would rather work 10 times harder for a month or 2 months or 3 months to find the right person that will then free me up for the rest of my life. That is an investment I'll make all the time." So the last peg of that stool, that is a vital peg, right? At this very moment, just so you guys know, we've got this high level summit going on. I've got my software being developed. I've got the new project that we just started for the high level community, that's being developed. We have an event coming up in April, my mastermind event that's being worked on, and I have a retreat that we're about to announce. All of this, there's no way I can do this myself, right? And I'm not. I'm not. We've got the right people. So team is vital. We're not going to talk about that, not during this event. If that's of interest for the audience, happy to come back and talk about it more later. So today I want to dig deep, 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 deep into offers. Now I'm going to walk you down my journey. This is a 19 years. Here's what I'm doing. I'm not just blabbing about my story. I don't do any of that. I already told you my results, my numbers. You either trust me or not. I'll win you over through my content. When I'm telling you this story, when I walk you through 19 years of offer creation, I'm telling you ahead of time, here's what I want you to be doing. I want you to look for the pattern. And we're going to come back and talk about economic cycles. But I want you to look for the pattern, okay? Is everyone with me? Can I get a yes? All right, I'm going to check into the comments. I want to make sure everyone's still with me here. Um,
And matter of fact, Anik, just when
uh,
you were talking about the whole team thing, I mean, to put on an event like this, it takes us like 2 to 3 weeks, at least minimum ramp up on both sides. So I just want to give a big shout out to the
yeah,
teams behind both of us. I mean, there's about 30, 40 people behind me, and there's definitely a huge team behind you as well. And Anik is giving
yep.
away his farm in a sense. So just as a token of gratitude, is it okay if I ask everyone that's watching a big favor? I want you to just simply take your phones out for a quick second. Take your phones out, and I want you to record your laptop or screen or desktop or widescreen, whatever you have, and just record maybe a 5, 6 second of a clip, a story clip of the workshop that you're partaking with Onyx Single. I want you to post it on your socials, tag High Level and tag Onyx. Don't worry about me. I'm probably not going to repost, but tag High Level and tag Onyx, and let the world know that we're doing something really cool in the marketplace today by just giving away a
Yeah.
ton of content. And one, it gives us a lot of organic push on all of our socials. So when we do run ads, it gives us better ads performance. The other is we genuinely want the entire community and the followers to know that we're doing this event. So please, if you can get a chance to just do a quick recording, and even if it's 1 or 2 seconds, and just tag, High Level and Anik on all your socials, and that'll be just a thank you or a gratitude towards the team that's behind both of us to kind of ramp all this up. So I appreciate you doing that. So let's go right into your
Yeah.
stepping stone of the $100 million offer run over the couple of decades here.
Yeah. So look for patterns, okay, guys, because everything in our world and in the economy is cyclical. One of the advantages I have, I always joke with Russell Brunson. I say, hey, I've been around since you were shooting potato guns. Frank Kern and we started, I think Frank started a year or 2 years before me. Um, we've been around forever. We're like the grandparents of this industry, which is interesting because I'm 40 years old. But look for the cycles because they repeat. And if you can see the cycle, which I'm going to give it to you at the end, but if you could see it, you can be in position to harness what's happening right now in our current economy. So when I first got started, listen, I was struggling for a long time, and my first breakthrough was as follows. I used to be inside this forum. I used to chit chat a lot with people. I used to try to learn. I was in college. I was trying to figure things out. Someone sold this software that was a black hat SEO software, totally spamming Google. I mean, it was total black hat. I bought it. I started getting really good at it. I'm not technical, but I learned how to use that software, install it on servers. It would take me about 2 hours to do. And I started answering questions for people in that forum. And all of a sudden, someone one day asked me if they could pay me $500. Now, again, 19 years ago, $500 is a lot more money. I was a broke college kid. That was a lot of money. 2 hours. I was getting paid $250 an hour. So I said yes. Turns out I did the job. They loved it. Next day, they paid me another $500. Turns out they loved it again. Third day, they refer me somebody. Now I'm like, huh. So what's the rule here? What do I want you to pay attention to? What in your business right now? This is a thinker, and I want you to think about this. There's no, you can answer it whenever you want. What's got momentum? What in your business right now has natural, organic, unpushed momentum? What is the one offer? What is the one service? What is the one thing that you do that people naturally look to you for, ask you questions about, ping you about? All right, this was that for me. So I turned it into an official offer, made thousands upon thousands of dollars. Then I got fed up. As a college kid with full-time catalog of classes to go to, I was so burned out working on 3 or 4 of these a day. Yeah, I was really complaining about making $1,000 to $2,000 a day for consulting deals. And right back then was the first time Camtasia had come out. Now, if you don't know what Camtasia, it's a screen recording app, for crying out loud. Now we have Loom and a gazillion other apps. And someone said, hey, instead of selling the service for $500, why don't you record yourself doing it, burn some DVDs, sell it in a box, sell the course. That way you're selling people the ability to have an unlimited amount of these sites done. I thought, it's only a few hours investment. Next thing I know, guys, I have in my apartment in college I've built a sweatshop. I got 4 or 5 computers. I got my college buddies over there burning DVDs, and we started selling these courses, doing really well. Okay, so we went from a consulting offer to, back then, a $500 course was a high ticket. So let's call it a high ticket offer. Consulting, high ticket. All right, hold that thought. Then all of a sudden, I launched a community. I launched a trial offer, which is the same thing as saying low ticket. So consulting offers are super ticket, high ticket, low ticket. That became a big area I focused for years, and I grew my brand and business like crazy. Only to then, I knew I had this massive audience of people that loved me, that were in my community. I had thousands of them. Made sense to do another high ticket offer, $1,000 so this $1,000 offer would have been 10 years ago, right? So that was high ticket, and still was. So yeah. And the market collapsed in 2008. So by 2010, 2011, high tickets were really difficult to sell as a front end product. They sold perfectly fine on the back end. So I went back to low ticket. So let's look at the trend. Super ticket, high ticket, low ticket, high ticket, low ticket. Keep watching. Next, we went to high ticket. all right, because the economy recovered. So by 2014, the economy is doing really well again. People are spending again, and now it's easier. This is when I started doing a lot of webinars, direct ads to webinars to sale, affiliates to webinars to sales. All right. Then I went back. Now the economy is really booming. 2018, 2019, 2020, especially after all of the free money got injected, and we're killing it in the $10,000 offers. Then we went back to high ticket. So what do you guys think? This is a real question. I'm going to pause for a second. What do you guys think where am I right now? Any guesses?
So here's the
Um,
observation I have so far, Anik. It seems like you went from products, services in a way where you're like, you know what? I don't want to sell my time and I want to just digitize my service into a productized offer. Is anybody else noticing that? I know there are a lot of SaaSpreneurs in here and we talk about subscriptions all day long. And is that an accurate observation, Anik? What are your thoughts?
yeah. So link it to the economy, right? So this one specifically, I can't help but call people out that are making no sense during these events. Lorenzo and Matthew are sitting here saying that there's no content and that I'm just flexing. I have no idea what part of this is flexing, guys. Literally, if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss out on the next trend, right? So I'm actually showing you a way to decipher the trends in the industry, and I'm coming back to a point which has taken me 20 years to learn. So you can either wait for that point or not. It doesn't really matter to me. To your point, during economic cycles, here's what happens. During down economies, which someone might be arguing we are in right now or not, you're gonna realize I don't really care whether people think it's a good economy or not. But during down economies, one of two extremes is what sells, Paulson. Either a very low ticket offer, and what I'm trying to say, then people will be like, well, high ticket sells just fine. It does sell fine, but not cold audience marketing. People don't impulsively want to buy high ticket. So they want an introduction to you. So if you want to go cold and if you want to scale and you want to go wide, it becomes much better to sell the low ticket. They get in, they'll buy the high ticket just fine. Even during down economies, people are buying all the time. Or the other extreme, and comes to your point of product versus service. So during down economies, the other thing people don't want to do a lot of is learn necessarily. So they're willing to go to the other extreme and spend a lot more money, but now they want the done for you. Okay, which is another big part of in the high level community as SaaSpreneurs, as people that are out there doing this for local businesses, you're in a perfect spot. This is what they want. They don't want to learn. They just say, hey, do it for me and I'll happily pay. But the middle hurts. During really good economies, the middle booms and the other two sides are still okay. They don't hurt, but they're a little bit less. So right now, what I'm moving towards, okay, is low ticket. Now, let me explain to you why it's taken me 20 years to come to this realization. 20 years, well, I don't know why it took me that long, but I can tell you what the realization is. Low ticket, in my opinion, you'll never make money with low ticket. So just so we're clear, it's very difficult. If you're like looking at low ticket to actually make you money, it's like the hardest. Don't do it. It's like this. Most authors you talk to that write books, they don't make money from the book. They don't make anything. They make money from all the stuff that the book brings to them. So low tickets during good economies, bad economies, doesn't matter. People are buying them. These low tickets are supposed to be self-liquidating acquisition. It's a way to get someone into your ecosystem, but use paid ads, but then the amount that they spend with you right then and there covers the cost of the ads. So you are made whole. Self-liquidating offers. That's what that means. And what I'm finding is low tickets do really well during like good economies, and they do really well during bad economies. So why not base the business around that? So I'm in the middle right now of launching a completely new business around compliance and teaching advertising compliance and helping companies and businesses get compliant with the laws and the regulations of the FTC and state governments. Well, this is literally the first project I'm putting out there. The first thing I'm doing is launching my book offer, which is a low ticket, because I have found this to be, low tickets can build foundations in concrete really, really quickly. And that leads to self-liquidating offers. So what I have seen in a business that's struggling to sell or scale is literally one of these two problems. This is why I said earlier that offers is where it starts and stops. For me, many times, when I do consulting with clients, I already know before I walk into the room that we're going to spend 70% of our day on their offer. What I have seen is one of two problems, if it's an offer problem. So in the 70% of the times it is an offer problem, it's either one of these two. Number one is either the offer is just not a good fit. Okay. I'm here, I'm talking to a bunch of marketers, I'm talking to a bunch of people that use a marketing software, and I start talking about weight loss. That's a very extreme example to make home a point. It's just not a good fit. I'm not even going to say it's a bad offer. I want to say it's a bad offer, but I try not to be judgmental. I just want to say it's not a good fit, but it's probably just a bad offer. It's not very enticing. The second mistake I see for companies that are selling well, but they're not able to like scale, they're struggling to raise the revenue, is because they're not applying the framework correctly. What's the framework? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. That's the 4 functions I mentioned earlier. So just really want to drive home the importance of the offers. And so this is the framework, okay? It's pretty straightforward. I'm just going to visually walk you through it real quick. So if you guys could follow along. In every business that wants to scale, here's a reality that you have to have. You're going to have to access cold audiences, period. You have to, okay? If you want to scale, you don't have to access cold audiences. If you don't want to scale, that's fine. But in any business I've ever built, I wanted to scale. So how do you access a cold audience in a way that doesn't make you go bankrupt, right? So companies out of Silicon Valley, they raise a crap load of money. Why do they raise money? Beyond the fact that they have to develop the product, they raise money to do customer acquisition and market penetration. These are words actually used. Market penetration is why companies like Facebook and Spotify and so many other businesses, Pandora, and I could go Netflix, I could go on and on for so many companies. Amazon was, I think, running in losses for like the first 10 or 15 years of its business. Maybe not that long, but for a while. Market penetration is what VCs are paying for, but you don't have that. So how do we access the cold audiences? How do we market penetrate without going broke? It's the ALBR. And what I like to do is each offer has a function. And so we use A, which stands for acquisition, I'll go over that in a second, to access the cold markets. That the function is very simple. It's not meant, a lot of people will try to make the money as well. So they try to get one offer that can do 6 things, and this is exactly why it doesn't scale. It won't scale. It has one function. It's meant to help go bring people into your ecosystem, and that's it. So the way this works is you'll see how to turn cold into warm, and then I talked about monetization. That's MAC. MAC stands for monthly activation campaigns. That's basically me saying at least once a month you need to do an activation campaign with your audience. That's for another day, okay? But that helps you monetize that warm audience. So let's start right at the top. Your acquisition offer is how you attract people into your business, okay? Guys, you can, even if you are a plumber, if you are, here, we had somebody come to my house and we had some leaks, some issues that were going on. And we had a company offer us for $100 to come do a full analysis. They said, we won't even give you a proposal. We're just going to give you an analysis of what's wrong. What are the things that we think you need to fix? My house is 7 years. We're seeing some recurring issues. I took them up on it. I said, it's great. And I love the fact that they weren't going to pitch me. There was no proposal to be had. Guess what I did? Guess what I actually asked for after I asked for the proposal? Right? Because I loved working with them. I said, this is the kind of person I want to work with. So I have seen acquisition offers seeping their way now outside of our markets into other markets. And I think it's brilliant. So an acquisition offer is going to attract people to you at a very low commitment on their side, so that even though you're cold to them, they don't feel the risk of engaging you. So book offers, a free webinar, an offer like I just said, like this for an offline business that says we'll do an analysis. In an offline business, I call that a consultative sale. So consultative sales work really well where you make a very low offer. How we found our nanny. We hired an agency. It was $300 for them to do a full analysis. They said for $300, we'll do a full analysis and we'll give you recommendations based off your life, what you want, what type of nanny you should find, and we'll be a vetting service for you. So whatever nannies that come through, we'll vet them on your behalf. $300. I'm like, duh. But then guess whose recruitment services we hired right after that? The same nanny finding service, right? Because we worked with them, we got warm and comfortable. It's a consultative sale. It's an acquisition offer. So if you have a freebie that you give away, that's it. That's an acquisition offer. Today's webinar, right? Today's masterclass, it's an acquisition offer. It's free, but we have you, we have your time, we have your attention, which is the most valuable asset anyone can give you. All right. Most times, 9 out of 10 times, your acquisition offer will lose money. It will lose money. This makes people very uncomfortable. It's the truth. If you want to do paid traffic, guys, you have to get past this idealistic fantasy that's scaling with paid traffic. Like a lot of people will spend $100 a day on paid traffic and get ridiculous returns, right? For every dollar they're spending, they're getting $3 back, $3 back. They're like, yes. And they start to have those fantasies that I'm only spending $100 right now. I could spend $10,000 and I'd make $30,000 a day and I'll have 20,000 net and it doesn't work like that. The more you scale, the more you get onto the cold audiences, the conversions come way down, and there is an economics factor here, supply and demand. There's a lot of advertisers. Everything moves towards break even or a slight loss leader. That's how paid traffic at scale works. Notice at scale, very important. If you want to just do a few $100 a day, I have an offer I run. I can spend a maximum $1,000 a day and I make $2,000 back. Every time I go above $1,000 a day to spend, my ROI, ROAS, return on ad spend, goes down. So I happily keep that at $1,000 a day. I don't need to scale it to the moon. That's good. So if you want to scale, 9 times out of 10, your acquisition offer loses you money, which is where the next function comes in. 4 functions I talked about, right? ALBR. We're at the L now. The L stands for liquidation. So the next function in your business, if you want to scale and do paid traffic, the next question I have for you is, what do you have available right after you bring them in that will help you liquidate the ad spend? So let's go over some examples, okay? So in the case of a book offer, so I got my book here. Here's some real facts and some real numbers. This is how it plays out. If I sell you a book on Facebook, I'm gonna spend about $60 at scale. It could be less, could be more. Depends on the topic, depends on the niche, depends on how sexy the niche is. I've spent anywhere as little as 40. I've spent as high as 100. So 60 is kind of a good average, okay? But that's all that is. It just all varies and it depends. And let's say you're selling the book for $10, right? Sounds about right. You're charging shipping and handling. So you're negative $50. That's a lot. I mean, how many books? I can't, I can't sell 1,000 books a day at that. I can't afford to lose $50,000 a day, right? So that's a problem. And this is how most businesses that are early on, they get really, really idealistic about things. They're like, oh, this book is the best, though. This book's got all my best information, and this book's gonna make me a millionaire. And I'm like, no, it's not. There's literally a very little chance of that happening. And you might as well play the lottery. All right. So what do we do behind it? So when you come to the sales page, you go to add the book, you go to buy the book, you see the bump offer. Hey, if you buy the book today, add blah, blah, blah. It's right there. It's like a little snippet like this big, okay? Then right after that, you see an upsell. Then you see another upsell. I don't like going past 2 upsells personally. I can't stand it. So I've tried the 3rd upsell. We have one funnel that I finally did it, and like it doesn't make much of an impact. So, but those are your liquidation offers. So what'll happen after a book purchase, $10, your bump is $37. Your upsell is $97 to $200, and your second upsell is again $100 to $200. Collectively, you know what ends up happening? The average customer ends up spending about $50 with you. So from the 10 to 50. Now, all of a sudden, you're only losing $10. Or maybe you're breaking even, all right? Depending on how big the scale of the traffic is, you might be breaking even. So if you're breaking even, heck yeah, go for it. spend away. I'm essentially getting paid or I'm breaking even to acquire a buying lead, a lead that pulled out a credit card. Hell yeah. And I've done this many times. So it works, right? You gotta dial it in correctly. And it's not fast, not easy by any means, but it's doable. And this will allow you. Now, is book the only offer? No. Um, I have a $67 course. It's a great acquisition offer. And then behind it, I have bumps and upsells just like I would with a book. Here's an entirely different way that a liquidation offer works. Okay. In a webinar, your acquisition offer was registering for the webinar. Your liquidation offer is actually the offer on the webinar. Now, this is going to blow people's minds. So think for a minute what I just said. If you came to me and you're looking to scale your business and all you have in your business is $1,000 product that you sell on a webinar and you want to go to paid traffic, I'm going to look you dead in the eyes and tell you, you can't. Maybe you can spend a few $100s a day, but you won't be able to scale because that $1,000 offer that you've got, that's your liquidation offer. Its function, which is very important to know, its function is to get you made whole again. Its function is to recover the money you spent on advertising. And until you understand that, this is why people fail when they try to scale with paid traffic. So I would immediately look at you and say, before you can go to paid traffic, you must have a back-end offer. And if you do not want to do a back-end offer, then you cannot go to paid traffic. You need to do organic only. These are the harsh realities of it. This isn't an idealistic thing. It just is what it is. You better be empowered with what really is, right? So that's a liquidation offer. And that takes us right to the third, right? We said ALBR. B is for back end. This is where the profit comes. This is where the profit comes. So I'm going to give you some examples here. One of the things I also want to say, guys, this is very important. A offer can indeed facilitate more than one function. It's doable. So in a business, can you have just a one offer business that facilitates all four? Yes. And I'm going to give you examples at the end of that. But for now, bear with me and assume that we have four offers to function, to facilitate the four functions. So a back end, this is where you can expect to make profit. So in the back end situation, let's go back to the book funnel. We have a book. We have our upsells, right? So we're liquidated now. But what we also have coming out with all of this is a compliant marketing academy. This is an academy where we teach you how to do compliant marketing. This is an academy where we actually teach you how to not say this, but then what to say. That's going to be $1,000 to $2,000. Plus, we have a certification program coming out. So you see where I'm going with this? So the book gets you into our system. The liquidation offers helps make sure we don't go broke getting you into our system. But once you're into our system, certifications, we have an audit service, we have an academy, we're going to have a software. So we have the ability to now work you through our different products. Those are back end offers. That's where the profit is made. Because before you even come on to the webinar to watch about my compliant marketing model, you're going to be already paid for. So it's profit, right? So someone asked a question about like SaaS. Guys, this right here is exactly what I'm doing to build my SaaS. My SaaS is called Complyly. It's a compliance auditing tool. It's meant for enterprise and larger businesses, but this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm able to take my experience in this information marketing world, and I think I'll make it into the most valuable asset in the SaaS world, because in the SaaS world, one of the biggest challenges people face is that you don't have anything like this, so you can't afford to pay, right? SaaS innately, in its most raw, doesn't have these four offers. Think about that. That's why you can't scale, because you bring someone in on a free trial that's not even going to rebuild for 30 days. You better have a lot of cash to float to wait that out. And then when it rebuilds, it's not going to liquidate you. You might have to wait for 2 rebuild periods to liquidate you. That means you still haven't made a profit. You might have to wait for 3 or 4 rebuild periods for you to be in profit. So what I'm trying to do in my business, not trying, what I am doing is I'm saying, hey, how can I build a model that scales and pays for itself and can show the software to 100 people a day, but those are 100 people that have been paid for. so that
Yeah.
the software is not in the losses. This is how this model will promote a SaaS, right? So it's very important. Now, last but not least, guys, is the R. What does the R stand for?
So
Okay, so
Anik,
anytime you
if you
have
don't
a
mind,
business,
I'm sorry,
yeah, go
Anik.
for it.
Before we go into the last one, how many of you that are watching this would like for me to maybe throw in an example of how you can build a model like this for SaaS? Like I just want to take 30 seconds and show you how to look at it. How many of you are SaaSpreneurs in here or interested in doing SaaS? Or maybe you're a marketing agency or a marketer and you want to do marketing services. Let's see, there's a few of you. Okay, so the way you want to look at well, Anik, help me understand and correct me if I'm wrong. Here's what I'm understanding from everything you've shared so far. Paulson, you must have a system in front of your business, almost like a break-even funnel or some sort of a gateway offer that's going to allow you to capture audiences for free. Whether it costs you a little bit out of pocket, it's worth having a front-end break-even type of a funnel or some sort of a system, almost as like a lead magnet, whether it's a book funnel or giveaway, a PDF, something that just attracts them to your brand. So it serves two things. One, it builds your brand. Second, it builds an audience around the brand. Then the second step would be to move them up slightly a little bit, not over push into thousands of dollars, but slightly a little bit so they get an experience within your brand. So maybe it's a $200 offer or $50 offer, or maybe sometimes it's micro offers like a $10 offer. But the idea is to take them from upfront, acquisition or a gateway offer into something that's a liquidation. So at the end of the day, more you spend, the bigger audience you build. You may not make a lot of revenue out of it, but it helps you build your brand. That's what I'm understanding so far. Is that right?
Yeah, even more so more than brand, it just helps you build an audience, like you said.
Right,
And so it gives you an ever-growing audience to present your
right.
main offer to. So I've always called in a business a main offer. I call it an anchor offer. So
And
um, let's let's use those of you who are right now using high level as a SaaS, right? And so you are promoting high level to, let's say, local businesses. And so
let's
you
do home
want to do a
services.
service.
Yeah, let's do home
Home
services. Maybe
services. Okay.
like plumbing, for
So give me an
example.
example. What do you mean by home
Plumbing.
services?
Some
Give me a
s-
specific.
an industry that works
Plumbing?
in a home, like plumbing, electricians, landscapers that are attached to the
Sure.
residential space. So let's take the plumbing
Sure.
example and go through and build out maybe an acquisition offer, a liquidation offer, and I'm a marketer that's interested in building a SaaS inside the plumbing industry. Is that
Yeah.
resonate well with
So
everybody? Okay, cool.
it does, but what I'd like to do is first finish the ALBR,
Okay,
because
okay,
there's a
perfect.
point I have to make that if I can't do the examples without having made that point. It's
Absolutely.
important because otherwise people it's not going to make sense as much.
Sure.
So if we just quickly finish it, R
Yeah.
stands for recurring offer. Okay. And the reason this was never a part of my business until a couple years ago, and it became a part of my business because once you cross a certain threshold of revenue, you need to start getting support. You hire people, you have your own software costs, you have your own servicing costs, and you can't afford to have ups and downs. So when you're first getting started, it's just you. You can have a 50 grand month, a 20 grand month, a 10 grand month, a no grand month, a 100 grand month. It's all great. But once you start having costs that are there irregardless of your revenue, you start to need consistency. So you can do a business and do very well without R. I don't recommend it. Now, everything I'm working on has some form of R built in because I want to be able to just wake up every month at the beginning of every month and not know that the only thing I can eat that month is the thing that I kill. I just want to know there's some revenue in the books. And it's very important for the next point I'm going to make. So, um, ALBR. Now, does that mean the plumber is like, oh man, I gotta have I gotta have four offers? Like, I'm just a plumber. Like, I don't want to do this. And it's like, no, you don't necessarily have to. So here, let me give you an example. This is a real example. I have been using it with the guy who details my cars. Now he's not quite doing it yet, but I've outlined the whole business for him. I was so excited. I just did it because I want him to embrace it. Um, he details my cars, so it's a similar example. And he charges me for my car like, I don't know, a couple $100 per car. He'll come. I have four cars. And I always forget. Okay, I have to proactively reach out to him and book them. I always forget. So he gets to do my cars 2, 3 times a year. Ideally, I'd love for him to do my cars at least every 6 weeks. So I asked him how many customers does he have, and he's serviced hundreds, 300 or 400 customers in the last few years. So my exact point to him, I did for him manually what is taught here at high level to do as a customer acquisition strategy. This is years ago. I took his list, I uploaded it into an autoresponder, and we sent emails to them for a few days. And the next week, his calendar was booked. He had like 9 or 10 bookings on his calendar. This guy was going to make about 2 or 3 grand the next week. And I looked at him and I said, just send these emails every now and then, book your calendar. Now, there wasn't an automation to do it. And he's old timer. He was like, I don't understand it. But in his business, what I offered him even more. Now, this comes back to us talking about ALBR. Is I said, the first time he ever came and did my cars, he actually made me an offer. He said, I'll do your wife's car for free. Because I'm trying to woo her. I know if I get your wife to love me, then you're always going to use my services. You pay for your car, I'll do your wife's car for free. You know what? I thought that was charming, and I thought that was funny. And I was like, all right, like it's a 2-for-1. I'm in. That was an acquisition offer, right? Now, here's the funny thing. It was an acquisition and a liquidation offer. This is important. You can have a offer that serves multiple functions. So in my business, one of my businesses, I have a mastermind. It's a $25,000, soon to be $30,000 a year mastermind. That's it. But think about it. It's big enough that I can afford to pay for traffic. It liquidates its own ad spend. It's profitable and it's recurring. It's every year. So that one offer fulfills all 4 functions. This is why I'm very careful not to say you need 4 offers, but I try to say you need 4 functions. And it's up to you to figure out which offer you have one offer that might fill multiple functions. So in the case of this car detailer, the offer he made me in the beginning to catch my attention was going to liquidate his costs, right? Because the money he makes from one car makes him whole. The back end, he doesn't have any. Recurring, he doesn't have any. So his back end was relying on me to reach out again over the course of years to say, hey, come clean my car. I asked him one time, very simple. I said, would you be willing to do a subscription plan? I'll pay you $300 or $400 a month. You come clean my car 6 times a year, 6 or 7 times a year. And you give me a little portal, little system, I can go book my appointments. If I don't book my appointments, I don't book my appointments. But I have a portal, I go in, I book my appointments, I pay you subscription. And the guys look at me, like, I'm like, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. Now think to yourselves, guys. So I've done this with our landscaping company. We pay them a set amount. They come, they do what they're supposed to do, and they go, right? I don't have to worry about it. They have reliable revenue. So a plumber, most plumbers, it's a little different because plumbers are more of a I need them now type of moment, like something broke. You don't usually get your like pipes
Urgent
inspected all
thing.
the
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like I don't know if that's quite the right example I would go after, but like restaurants,
Yeah.
right? One of the best restaurant trainers out there talks about the stats. He says that if you can get a patron to come back to your restaurant a second time, they're like X% more likely to become lifetime customers. And by third or fourth, and by the 5th time they come, they're like lifetime customers. So he talks about incentives to give it each one to get them to come back again. Guys, all he's really doing is a modified version of ALBR. So even as a restaurant, how do you do this? Yeah, and so you see companies like all the big companies doing it. You see Uber Eats and all of
Yeah.
them doing it. So what they'll say is, hey, you're about to spend $10 in fees. How about we give you a trial subscription to the annual or to the monthly program, and this delivery is on us. It's free. Acquisition offer,
Yeah.
right? And then the liquidation is LBR are the same.
Yeah.
It's just getting you into the annual subscription. So I'm giving you a bunch of different random examples outside of our information marketing world, but I want you to see how they can be different. And if you are out there selling high level, most of the high level, like most of what you're taught, right, is to go find something that business needs,
Yeah.
offer that to them. Ideally, not even at a ridiculously price, like a low price acquisition offer, right? And then this is literally what was taught. Get them in to love you, and once they love you, make the next offer, which just so happens to be high level, which is a back end and a recurring offer. So it's serving two functions. And so now you've got that consistent revenue.
Yeah.
So do you see how it really, though, the crux of it comes down to the acquisition offer? I'll give you guys an example that I learned from somebody before for local marketing. I did local marketing for some time. And I learned something from someone that was brilliant. They were an SEO agency. And what they would do is they would take a company, and they only went after restaurants and businesses that were actually ranking for their area, like, but they were like ranking number 7 or 8, 9. So they would take a printout of that page, circle them, draw an arrow to the top, and they would give them a clear package. So it was like a clear folder, so that when I receive this in the mail, the first thing I'm looking at is I'm looking at my search results, right? So in many ways, I was like, that's an acquisition offer. They're sending a folder out that shows, hey, how we can move you from here to here. So there's an infinite number of ways that you can take this. I just want you to start thinking, who's your target market? And by the way, how can you do an acquisition offer unless you know your target market? Right? So it makes you ask all these really cool questions to get down to the prime psychological motive that someone moves. So if you're attracting restaurants and you want to get them into high level, or you want to service them, then what is a restaurant owner's biggest pain point? What can you go in with a solution to that's not expensive, and makes you whole, but that gets you in with them? So a lot of different ways to do ALBR, but I just want to repeat, you do not have to have 4 offers. You can have as little as 1, but you should never need more than 4. So it's somewhere in between 1 and 4 is the right answer. Does that make sense now,
Absolutely.
Paulson?
Absolutely. And those of you, thank you, by the way, Anik. I know I kind of just put you on the spot for a different example.
No, you're good.
But those of you that are watching, if you're in the local space, and one of the most popular liquidation offers and acquisition offers that we're seeing a lot of high levelers use is inside of the prospecting tool. How many of you know that high level has its own built-in prospecting tool? You go in there and you search for a potential dentist in your area, and the system will right out of the gate tell you, do they have a Google My Business profile set up? Do they have a WordPress site that's functioning? Do they have a live chat on? Do they have active reviews? How long they've been in business? It gives you the address, the numbers, and when you click yes, I want to figure out more info on this prospect. All completely free, by the way, built inside of high level. The system within minutes will shoot out a PDF report right out of the gate that you can take and present over to a business owner and say, hey, John, I know you're a dentist. I just want to share this over to you because I see what your competitors are doing, and full no obligation interaction, right? Hey, here's a free diagnosis, kind of like the plumber that Anik had over at his house. Like similarly, you can provide a report of how their online health is, and this has been one of the most popular acquisition methods as a marketing company. So as you think through, what if you go out there with your ALBR, which is acquisition and liquidation, you go out there, give them a PDF, and the next thing you can do is jump on a quick call and evaluate that together. Now you're spending a little bit of time, maybe for $100 or $200 or whatever, and all of a sudden you go from free to $100 interaction. Then you have a back end offer, right? Which is maybe Facebook ads, maybe it's SaaS, maybe it's something like social media management or whatever. But and then you land them and park them in a recurring offer. I personally like a mid ticket, and I'm not even a big fan of low ticket SaaS, but mid ticket is good because there's a big acquisition cost. But hopefully that gives you some ideas as a marketer on how to leverage high level using the prospecting tool to do exactly what Anik is teaching with the ALBR method. Is that resonating with you all? Give me a yes in the chat if that's making sense, and if that gives you some creative juices and just some ideas of how to kind of build that into your SaaS launch or your agency launch or marketer launch. Okay, I'm seeing a ton of yeses here. Okay, awesome. Anik, let's keep going.
Yeah, yeah. So, and there's what I love about this, everyone, is that you can make this your own. There's just so many ways. That's why I don't want to sit here and tell you this is the right funnel and this is the right way to do it. There's so many ways to do it. Pick the one that speaks volumes to you. I'll tell you right now, if I was to ever become a local marketer, I can guarantee freaking to you books would be a part of my marketing funnel. I think books are the best business card ever, but small, thin, something with pictures and something very easy that a local business owner could understand, right? That can drop off. You know what? I'd probably have like 3 or 4 books. I'd probably walk into the dentist's office with that custom proposal printed out of High Level, along with 4 books or 3 books, this whole beautiful little package, and hand it to them because the damn thing just leaves an impression, right? And it's like, hey, this is just for you guys. I'm really committed to helping dentists in this area grow their business. This is who I am. Hey, just
Yeah,
have a look, show
exact.
it to the boss, and let me know if there's a call to be had. And I know I'm going to leave 10 of those and get only 3 or 4 calls. I only need one
Yeah,
to make all that way worth my time. So, but I know how to write books. I've been writing books for
yeah,
20 years. It's an asset I have. It's a specific skill set. I don't recommend everyone else do it. It's a pain in the ass.
yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
recommend most people
I
do it.
would
It's okay
even
for me.
Yeah, I would even do a booklet, like the Grant Cardone method of the 10-page booklet of like, hey,
Yeah, exactly. Something
I'm
small.
a, yeah, I'll type into Chat GPT and say, hey, 10 best
Yep.
ways for a dental company to acquire patients. And I'll just have that all chopped up
Yep.
into casual conversation, print it out and have it as a lead magnet and say, if you're a dentist out there, here's a great collateral for you completely for free, and then that becomes
Yeah.
your acquisition cost, just like that. So
Yeah.
get
So
creative, y'all.
it,
Y'all are marketers.
get creative. Yeah, guys. So, our job here is to teach you, is to give you the principles and the concepts, right? And then we can get more specific. Now, part of the whole shindig, if you enroll in to High Level through me, right? This is where it's about me versus the other amazing affiliates and other promoters of High Level. Is that if you want to be able to work with me and run those types of scenarios and ideas through me, I'll tell you more about how we're building a whole community around it, and where you get access to that coaching and help and support from me and my team. But yeah, lots of ways. And then we've been talking a lot about those of you who are SaaSpreneurs who are using your time and knowledge to again sell High Level. But there's so many of you that want to just sell information. You want to sell yourself. You want to sell your information. That's the area that I've been predominantly focused on for the last 20 years. Well, in that world, ALBR is the mantra. It's you can't you can't build those businesses without it, right? So we're forced to focus in on that. Um, all right. I do see a bunch of questions coming through, so I think we're going to answer questions or do Q&As in a little bit. So in order to build a scalable business, you need to have all of them. I'm curious, did you guys, was there some aha moments? It's always important to me in my training that there be some aha moments, and I'd love to see, maybe give me a wow, if that's just a word that is different than yes, and you guys have been commenting yes on stuff. But was there something in here today? Give me a wow if there was something in here today that got you thinking. All right, my job today was to get you thinking. Tomorrow I start to give you specific things. Like we're gonna talk about specific funnels and all that jazz. Today was that you walk away from today thinking to yourself, hey, what is my ALBR? Like, how am I equipping my offer stack in a way that makes it easy for me to get in front of new people, but then to also really monetize properly my existing people, right? And with that symphony builds a invaluable process to scale. All right, lots of wows coming through. Awesome, thank you guys for that. All right, so what I want to do today is I want to spend more time on the Q&A, but let me brief you guys on the offer. So Paulson, do you want me to brief my offer first or do Q&A first? How would you like to play this? My offer
So,
being, hey, if you join High Level through me, here's what we're offering right now. I
yeah.
intend to keep it pretty light today, guys, because I really want to show you the funnels tomorrow and then show you the power of what you get when you join through me. And I don't want this to be about pitching. I want this to be about value and education. So
Yeah,
you tell me.
absolutely. So let me just fill the room for a quick second, Anik. How many of
Yeah.
you would like, how many of you that are watching would like for me to do like a quick 3-minute overview of high level? Maybe you're completely like new to high level, never seen this thing before. You hear the name everywhere, and I'm not even a tech wizard. So if you really want me to, I'll do a quick overview of high level just to get an idea of what exactly it is. Okay, let's see. I love to hear it. Yes. Uh, Someone says no, thank you. Totally understand. I love that. Let's see. Yes, overview real quick. Okay. Forgive me if I'm a little long-winded, but I'm a rapid fire here. I'm gonna share my screen for a quick second. And Anik after that is going to share exactly the offer that he's going to present. But when you log into High Level, this is a sandbox account, by the way. This is not a real account. When you log into High Level, it comes into a dashboard like this. So there's two different views. One is an agency view, and the other is a client view. So the agency view or the marketer's view looks like this. On the top left side, you have an agency dashboard. You can customize all these dashboards within seconds, drag and drop system. You have something called the SaaS configurator. This is where you can build your own subscription plans using high level features and function like a software company. And you can build however many plans you want and go out to the market and have your own branding on there. So you don't have to go develop a bunch of codes and stuff like that and put up a team. You can function as a software company, and that's the whole revolution and momentum around SaaSpreneur in general. Then you have the prospecting tool. This is what we just briefly talked about. Basically, I can just go add a prospect, let's say dentist in Miami, Florida, just because I was just there 2 days ago, and I'm just gonna just find some random. These are people that just pulled up just like that. How quickly? And the system tells me, hey, there's a Google My Business profile claimed, WordPress claimed, conversion rate. This is you as a marketer's chance to convert, right? This one says 12% unlikely. That means they have almost everything in the online health world, like their online presence is dialed in. So they don't really need you as a marketing service, right? So if I go further in, let me see if I can find somebody else that has a bigger percentage. I'm just randomly doing this off my cuff, just so y'all know. Usually the system is a little slower while I share on Zoom. Let's see. It usually pulls up. Oh, right here. Look at this guy. 62% more likely. That means they almost have nothing in place. You see 26 reviews. That's pretty low compared to the competitors, 340, 450. So now if I go here, I find their info, save prospect, and then all of a sudden I can literally crank up, well, this thing is going to fire off. Long story short, it's going to shoot out a PDF that tells me, hey, here's everything that's wrong with the online presence of that business. I can reach out to that business with the info and send that over and prospect them, essentially. Sub accounts is basically our name for clients. That's where you can find all your sub accounts in one place. Account snapshots, basically where these are automation trees that you can pre-build and download and get from other people. Reselling is if you want to add services like Yext, Conversation AI, WhatsApp, WordPress, and all these different things to your customers. Marketplace is where you can get high level services as well as white label services of high level systems, integrations, things like that. Affiliate portal, let's say you have a SaaS setup already and you want to manage your own affiliates, you can do that. You have template libraries, which is basically like a gallery kind of function with a ton of content. Partners is where you can find certified admins of high level. Maybe you're not a tech guy, but you can have someone else handle your setup for you. Universities where you can find all your courses around high level from high level ourselves. And there's ideas as well, mobile app, a bunch of different cool things. But I just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough of what high level looks like. But the most important thing is understanding the power of high level is the marketer plus the software. High level by itself is just like anything else, but the real combination of strength is when your creative self combined with the power of high level and go to market, I think it does a beautiful thing. It does wonders in the marketplace. None, second to none in my opinion. So Anik, I know you're giving away snapshots and, providing some great assets to a ton of people. By the way, if you're watching this and you already have high level, we may or may not have something for you in day 3. We're going to specifically talk to those that don't have high level just yet, just FYI. Anik, help us understand what you have kind of put together. And by the way, thank you. This is not something we even asked you to do in the grand scheme of things. Your generosity is well recognized. So just first of all, thank you for even doing this.
No, no, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. And so, guys, I'm doing something a little bit nutso, um, and I flipped the script. So I've been teaching marketing for 20 years. That's been my bread and butter. Sold $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 courses, $10,000 back end coaching programs, all that. I'm done. I'm really focusing on a couple of other parts of my life and my business right now, especially we just had two babies. So what I did is I consolidated my entire education business along by partnering with High Level. So now basically the only way to get access to me, my team, my coaching, my support, my courses is to be an active High Level member through me. And and that's how much I believe in High Level, by the way. I wasn't making this stuff up in the beginning when I said what I said. I really believe in what High Level provides. Most of, not most, almost like every bit of my training and education, you can't deploy it anyways without a tool like High Level behind you. Or what you can do is this, you can go buy about 7 or 8 different tools and, kind of jerry rig them together using Zapier and all of that. You're going to spend more. And then guess what? You won't have Anik and my support and my team and my courses and my knowledge and my wealth of knowledge behind you. So it made sense. It felt like a win-win-win, getting towards that like excellent, great offer that's hard to refuse. So let me summarize my pitch for you, and then I'll go into the details of it, because I really did not want today to be about that. But there's nothing for you to like spend today. I have 2 offers for you. Both of them require zero money today. They both lead to a trial. One leads to a 14-day trial of High Level, and one leads to a 30-day trial of High Level. And both come with 2 different things. There's 2 different buckets here. Bucket 1 is you get my courses. I have 21, I believe, courses and more coming. These cover things like how to create great offers, how to drive traffic, how to do great copy, how to get free traffic, how to build funnels, how to do paid traffic. I mean, we cover a wide array. This is my best of the best. These are not the only courses I've developed in my career. I picked my best. Some of these courses, the only other way to get them is you pay $700 to $1,000, but now they're retired, meaning you can't even pay for them. All right, so you get my courses and you get my snapshots. I have 3 funnels that I use at this point. This business that I'm building, this new compliance business, is going to use these 3 funnels. That's it. Low ticket, webinar, which is a high ticket, and a phone call funnel, which leads to a super ticket. So I have 3 funnels. We're going to talk about these tomorrow. I'm going to show you them in detail while I've built the entire snapshots inside of High Level. You get all 3 of them. I'm telling you, if this is all you use it for, this is invaluable, because I've spent tens of millions in paid traffic refining these. So if you said, Anik, all I want from you are your courses and your funnels, then you can go to the starter plan, 14-day trial, $97 a month after that. As long as you have it, you have licenses to all my stuff, use it, use my funnels, no problem. $97 a month, that goes to High Level. And then High Level pays me, okay? I'm not doing this out of the generosity of my heart. High Level will then compensate me for that. Now, the other option you have is a 30-day trial with a $297 a month that comes after that. But now you're getting the whole virtual mastermind. So the next closest thing I have to that is my $25,000 a year mastermind that has physical in-person meetups. This one doesn't. This is a virtual mastermind. I was originally, and I did, sold a few people into it at $12,000 a year. Then I stopped selling it because I wanted to do this deal with High Level. So now you get that same level of mastermind for free, okay, for being a part of the High Level Unlimited package. Now, what does that include? It includes regular sessions with me every month where I get on and do talks. You can present me your ALBR personally. I'll give you a critique on it. These types of consultation sessions, I charge thousands of dollars per hour for, just so you know. A full day consultation with me, if you want to come spend 8 hours with me, is 30 grand. All right. It's not me making it up. I have track record of billing that. 20 was what I was charging. Now it's 30. So this is valuable stuff, valuable time. Plus my team, my lead copywriter, my lead email marketer, my lead offer creator, my lead traffic expert. You get to come join in on sessions with them every month as well. So on top of that, we do regular networking sessions for those who are on our virtual mastermind. And the only way in, you have 2 options soon, okay? To be in our virtual mastermind, you'll be presented with 2 options. You can pay $1,000 a month to us and not get any of the software, or you can be a part of High Level, pay $300 a month, get all the software, and get my mastermind comped in. So even for those of you who have a High Level account, and you want to be a part of our mastermind, just get another High Level account, and you're actually still saving $700. And I don't know, resell that account to somebody else or do something fun with it, okay? So that's a summary of it. So you get to pick, hey, how much of us do you want? Pick the plan that's right for you, and we will be happy to serve you. And I'll go through the offer real quick now, and I'll give you the link at the end, and I will just trust you guys to go do that. Does that sound fair? I will do a thorough explanation of the pitch in coming days, but today was really just about getting to know each other. But does that sound good? So I'll give you a link, and on the link, by the way, is a sales page. So on that page, we go over the details of what you get. So you're welcome to analyze it. But give me a yes right now. Give me a yes right now. So let's see. Jenny says we will get the snapshots even if we don't do the upgrade. Yes, even if you don't have the 297 a month plan. So at the 97 a month, you do get the
So,
snapshots.
so just
So
real quick, Anik, I just
yeah.
want to clarify a couple of things here. For those of you that are watching and you are an existing customer of High Level and you're not yet ready to maybe go from, let's say, 97 to 297 or 297 to 497, stay put. Anik and I and the whole team, we're working on something that's going to possibly get you something on day three. So day three,
Mhm.
stay along for the ride for day one, two, and three. On day three, I'll make an announcement for those of you that are existing customers. I don't want you to get upset
Yeah.
that maybe you're not getting any of the bonuses. We're working on something for you as well. Just FYI. And Anik, I'm just gonna go ahead and send you. I think I want to make sure we have the right link for the offer. And I put that into the chat. I'm not sure if I updated you with the right link. I think you might have got.
No. So I still have my old link,
Okay, so
which
so the
forwards to the page. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So this is the right link because of tracking. So regardless of what plan they're on, I can tell you and give you the information of which customers are doing 97 versus 297. Do you mind upgrading your slides with this link? I think the first one was Anik hyphen single hyphen something, right? But this is the accurate one that the team updated this weekend, just FYI. I just sent it to you on the Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So there
it
will
does the same
be a
function. Yeah.
Okay, well, there's going to be a confusion because this one is taking them straight to the unlimited only plan.
Okay.
So let me present my offer and then I'll let you guys figure out how.
Okay.
So everyone doesn't buy yet, but then I'll let you guys figure out how you want them to go to it because I didn't know this was sorry. So
No
there will be a
worries at
little bit
all.
of a confusion if we change the link now. Um, but
Sounds good.
guys, let me just quickly go through this and then Paulson, if you we can talk them through the link that you want them to use. And here's how it's going to work, right? Because so many of you already have high level, and I never want anyone to feel like you're not getting what you're not getting value. So if you already have high level, awesome, right? I'm not by any means asking you to cancel that account and start a new one under me. That's stupid. You have all your stuff in there, please. I want to honor your existing relationships. So there will be some bonus. Now, I can't offer you everything, right? So the entire mastermind with all the resources, if you're already a high level member, so there's some scenarios. Number one, if you're on this 97 a month plan and you upgrade, I'll give you the full mastermind, even though I'm not getting the full credit for it. I don't care. Like, that's an amazing. So if you go from 97 to 297 or you go from 297 to 497, boom, done. You get the whole shebang. You get the full mastermind. Thank you for that. If you decide you don't want to upgrade, but you already have an account, we'll have certain limited bonuses, but we'll have some cool stuff for you at the end of day three. The third thing I always tell people also is you might be in a situation where you really want to be in my mastermind, just get a second account. It's not unheard of. It'll still be way, way, way less expensive to you to do that than to not and to try to buy the mastermind directly. So it's one of those situations in which we need to talk to you. We'll talk to you and we'll figure out what's best for you. Okay. But I want everyone should be happy. Um, so, like I said, and I was going through this quickly, option one is you do the 14-day trial to our starter package, in which case you're getting my 3 funnels and you're getting 24 of my best courses. These courses and the funnels are my low ticket, my high ticket, and my super ticket. All right. I would love to just reserve this to talk about it tomorrow since it's going to be talked about in much more detail tomorrow. But if you want my book funnel, I hand that to you. If you want my webinar funnel, which I'm known for in the industry, which took me years to perfect, it's yours. The whole snapshot, all the text messages, the emails, everything. You get it all. Okay. And then last but not least, this funnel has done really well for me. This is the book a call funnel, which means you can bring people to you. They book a call with you. All the no shows and texts and emails, everything is already done for you in the snapshot as well. Now, the courses, all right, I've got a course exactly getting further and very more detailed into the scale, the Pentagon of scale. I've got my 8-figure offer masterclass. I talked about it today, but I told you how it's the absolute crux of it. I've got my copywriting academy, arguably the best course I've ever created, never given away for free. Always sold it for $700. It's free now. List Academy. This is a very specific course to those of you who do email marketing. But if you also know me and if you follow me for years, you know email marketing is a big thing what I do. And then Facebook ads and a bunch of other courses. So these are what you get if you join the starter package. Now, the way we did it is as part of our package, and I'm totally okay if High Level has coded it differently and wants to do it differently. I'm easy going. But what we did when we announced this to our audience last week was, if you do the starter package, it's a 14-day trial, so it's a little bit less trial because your commitment's less, and then it's 97 a month after that. Okay, and you get the funnels and you get the courses. Now, if you go in for the unlimited at the 297 a month, we're going to do more. We're going to give you more, and we're going to extend the trial period to 30 days, so you get a longer trial. And that's where you're getting my $12,000 scale mastermind for absolutely free. Now, I can say it's $12,000. That's not a made up number. We sold a few people at that, and then we retired it and said, hey, we would rather do it through High Level. At this point, like I said, you could choose. If someone, I was asked last week by someone, it's like, I already have an account at High Level, but I want to be a part of this. I said, okay, great. It's $1,000 a month. They're like, well, I don't understand. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, why wouldn't I just get another High Level account? I'm like, exactly. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to be a good partner with High Level, so everything's in one place. But as part of that, you get access to a lot of the trainings that we do with our $25,000 mastermind. You get access to me, my team, regular training sessions and calls. And so we've got some of the best experts in the industry that work for me full time. They're here. They'll be there to support you as well. And you also get the vault of some of the best trainings that I've run inside my $25,000 mastermind. Now, the whole shebang, if you're part of the unlimited 297 a month plan plus the extended 30-day, this is the link that we gave. Now, I want to honor what Paulson said. What you see at this link, guys, is a long page that explains the two offers. It explains every functionality of what the two offers are. At the bottom of that, you have the ability to click one or the other, and then you end up basically in the high level enrollment process. So while we do this Q&A, I'll honor whatever
Yeah.
you want here,
So
Paulson.
yeah,
But
so
the link
but
that you said was only going to the unlimited.
Yeah, so we updated that link so it does include 97 as well as the 297, and people can upgrade on there. Um, so what
All
I'll do
right, so
is
let's do that.
I'll share the link here. This is the actual updated link. So sorry, my apologies, guys, in case
Pop that up.
this
Yeah,
caused
perfect.
this caused any confusion, but this allows us to track who's actually signing up under Anik for the 97 and the 297, and myself and the team will provide that list of people over to Anik's team. So then they will give you access to all the goodies. So the offer itself does not change. Everything Anik promised and everything that the team is providing is what we're going to honor, and that's what we're going to give you. The only thing I ask you to do is use this link for tracking purposes. So that way we can quickly identify who's actually signing up for the workshop itself through Anik. Just FYI. Hopefully that doesn't create too much of a confusion. It's just a quick link change on the actual offer. The same exact thing, you get the 97 if you want to on the 14-day trial, or you get the 297 on a 30-day trial. And then in case if you want to upgrade, you can as well. And this allows us to say, you know what, Anik, here are the folks that upgraded and jumped in from the workshop, so that way it's tracked. So the offer stays the same, no big changes. It's just a link that we're diverting people to. And
Perfect.
in case
Yeah.
if you need any other help, support, whatever it is, in case if you come across any issues, you guys, we'll make sure the offer is honored. Just give us a couple of days. We'll identify you in case if there's any issues. But this is the actual offer link. It'll take you to Onyx page, and just like Onyx said, you'll have the opportunity to do the 97 or the 297 or upgrade, however. And then for those of you that are already on maybe the 497 plan or the 297 plan, or maybe you're not in the mode of maybe making any changes, we're going to work together, Onyx team and I. We're going to work together and have an announcement for you on day 3 for those of you that are existing customers. Okay. And our community team, kudos to them. They're going to go through and provide the exact link I just presented across the board in all channels. So if you're watching, you can jump into it. We'll have it posted in our our channels, our Facebook page, and all of that. So let's do this. Here's what I'm gonna do to really rapid fire. For those of you that are watching, I want you to type in the word Q. Okay, I want you to type in the word Q before you ask your question. And Anik, how much time do you have? We're at 12:39 Central, so 1:39. What's your cutoff time? I know you have a
Yeah,
tight schedule today.
I would say 15, 20 minutes if that works
Okay.
for everybody.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. So type in the word Q or like question and then ask the actual question. And what I'll do is go through and answer as much as we can. So remember, just to summarize, what happened today is we focused on offers, right? Onyx shared a lot about cyclical analysis and how there is a trend in the market in how in certain economies, people navigate towards online offers. That's really a big component of how to build these things. In today's world, there is a certain type of offer that makes sense. So pay attention. If you didn't watch the entire thing, go back and watch replays, recordings. All that will be available in all channels. So the big thing is the offers that we focus on today. Tomorrow, just to reiterate, Anik, what are we going to cover? I know it's about funnels, but what exactly about funnels will we learn?
Yeah, I'm going to go over all three of the funnels. So I'm going to show you the low ticket funnel. I'm going to show you the webinar funnel, and then I'm going to show you the book a call funnel. I'm actually going to use a scribble pad tomorrow and draw these out and show you where we found the refinements. So what was the difference between what the funnel looks like for the average person and then how we got it to the point where we were spending $1 million a month in paid traffic to drive traffic to it. So there's a lot of little tweaks you do that no one knows about that make that funnel perform far better. And those are the tweaks that we're going to go over tomorrow, but they're also automatically built into my snapshots.
Okay, awesome. So rapid firing, I see a few questions that are related to high level. I'm going to answer those questions and questions around strategy, structure, business things that we talked about today. I'll alley-oop those over to Anik here. So the first question I'm seeing here, let me go ahead and pull up my phone. For some reason on mobile, it's a whole lot faster when you do these live streams. So let me pull up the page real quick. I had somebody ask, hey, what do I get with the 297 from high level? So the big thing that you get is a one-on-one Zoom call. By the way, we are 24/7 live with Zooms. Anytime you want to jump on a Zoom call and talk to one of our consultants, you can. And just like that, when you sign up for a new account with this workshop, you do get a consultative type of a kickoff call where you can jump in on a Zoom and you can sign up for that. So don't miss out on it. And someone will help you set up your account as well. Okay. So Jenny's asking, okay, thank you for the questions, you guys. Go ahead and type down all of your questions. I'm going to do 30-second rapid fires with Anik. Okay. First question, Anik. Offers really depend on the niche that you are in, correct?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Do you want to add any details to that? Is there different types of offers
So
in certain industries?
yeah, it just depends on it also depends on your business, like what you're solving, right? So are you an education business? Are you a services business? Are you a product business? That'll change the offers, it'll change the price points. Um, but that's why I teach ALBR. That doesn't change. The functions never change. The price points and how they're delivered absolutely can.
Okay. Let's see. Is there Can we have, let's see, I'm looking at it. Someone said, okay, cool. Heather's asking acquisition offer, what would you say is a max that it should be at? Like, is there a top number that you're
I
like, you
think
know what? Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if she's asking for like cost of acquisition or the actual cost of the offer.
I think she's
Um,
asking about the
so I'll
price of
answer
the
both.
offer. Yeah, she's asking about the
The price
price
of
of
the
the
offer.
offer. Yeah.
It depends again. So I'll give you it just depends on okay, I'll give you a prime example. My wife comes to me, she wants LASIK surgery. Okay? She comes to me and she says, "Here's a great deal." And I told her that there should never be the two words in one sentence, and that is deal and surgery. Right? Those two should never come up. So here's an example of where an acquisition offer can't be too damn good because it actually will it turns you away from the person, right? But in the info space, information marketing space, I have found a great low ticket acquisition you're about $67 is about as high you're going to go. After that, you start to see a drop in conversion, higher quality, but 67.97. But now, if you're a local consultant working with local businesses, that's too cheap. It's devaluing. It's weird. A consultant will come in and sit with me for 3 hours, 2 hours, and work on my business for $100. No, there you want three, four, $500, right? You know what I would rather do? I would rather tell the business, I'll come in, don't even pay me anything. Sign the agreement that you agree to pay me three, four, $500 after the consult's done, after your mind's blown. But for now, sign the agreement and let's book a time to talk. So I would rather do that and keep my value high. So the max cost of an acquisition offer does unfortunately vary a lot depending on your business. But I think what you're looking for, probably the number that I would give my industry of creators, is $100.
Got it. Okay, awesome. Someone's asking if I upgrade from the 97 to the 297, if I understand this correctly, I get all the bonuses, including
Yes.
the mastermind.
Yep. Yes, you do. That
That is
that's
incredible.
just part of us honoring. Yeah, that I mean, that might be the loophole in the system you may have found, but I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. I think that um, that's one way to really honor my partnership with them and honor you for upgrading and rewarding you for that. So, yes,
Okay.
you will need to do nothing other than go to your account and go through that link, then do the upgrade, and then as soon as High Level lets me know, my team will
Yeah.
set you up with the account for your mastermind.
Okay, awesome. Someone's asking, Adele's asking, I have been with High Level for 2 weeks on a 60-day trial. If I upgrade, is there no 30-day trial available? More than likely, you're only going to be able to take advantage of one trial offer. So whenever you maybe exit out of it or go right into paid ad, or maybe you switch and do a different offer, you lose the ability of having the trial. So you'll have to move into canceling your trial and go right into paid. But when you do go into paid, you get all these bonuses. So you kind of have to decide what you want to do
Mhm.
there. Um, let's see. Michael's asking, is this for someone running their own business or someone wanting to help many businesses with their lead program? So ultimately, Michael's asking if this workshop is applicable to a small business owner versus like a marketer serving a small business sector. I think there's a little bit
No,
for both.
yeah. No, I mean, I think we tried, Michael, pretty hard to be unconventional with our examples to make home that exact point that no matter what kind of business you're running, I mean, I'm getting my car detailer to do this, right? To use ALBR. Um, and so yes, I think this is the game changer for SMBs, for small businesses. I think small businesses don't think like this. So I think one of the advantages I bring if I were to ever go into a small business world, I've always wanted to build a franchise empire. Don't ask why. But I've always said if I ever did, watch out to people around me because I bring the marketing chops. I understand data, numbers, acquisition. I understand things that most small businesses don't. It's kind of my mission right now to teach that to them. So yes, it applies to
Yeah.
all of the above that you said.
We've got someone asking, looks like Lorenzo. He said, Theory was great today. Will we be able to build anything inside of the system by chance? I guess more of a tech kind of an overview. What are your thoughts? I know you had mentioned Sarah or someone on your team might jump in and provide some details there. Is that
Yeah.
still the case?
So it is. So great question, Lorenzo. I don't touch tech. When I touch tech, it explodes, blows up, and bad things happen. So I have people on my team that do that. And the main person who built these snapshots, who does all of that, she's been unwell the last week, and so it's gonna be a game day decision tomorrow if she's able to join us and do some live demoing of the snapshots. So I don't want to promise it, but we'll do our best. And if she can, she absolutely will.
Okay.
And if not, I absolutely, to all of you who are joining in on our mastermind, we are going to have her supporting you and showing you consistently how to use the snapshots. But tomorrow's training, Lorenzo, will, from my side, I'll always be the instruction guy. So it's going to be way more specific because I'm going to actually show you. I'll actually have the pages pulled up too. So I can show you pages of my funnel. I'll draw out how I do segmentations of my automations. But technically, how it's done inside of High Level, 50-50 chance if I'll have Sarah here to do that or not.
But either way, you will get access to the snapshots, and it comes with instruction videos, that the team has built out. So even if you may not get that on the workshop live because I'm like Anik too. Like if I touch anything tech, things usually are in, on fire behind me. So I don't do that either, just like
Yeah.
Anik. But we'll try our best to bring in someone that can support live. Yes or no, we'll see. But regardless, when you do jump into the offer, Anik's team will be supporting you in getting those things up. In case you jump into a trial as well, also someone on the high level team will jump on a Zoom call with you as well as part of our kickoff, and so you get someone from each team on each sides of the offer to kind of support you. So there will be plenty of tech help as you jump into our offer. Okay, cool. Someone's asking, hey, I have a virtual assistant agency. Do you think high level is for me? Well, if you do sales and marketing for your business, high level is for you, regardless of what business it is. Anik, quick question. How did you jump into high level? Like I know you see software all day long. What was your journey like? And I know you
Oh,
might have
I have,
stayed on the
I have
fence
a
for a
I have a really
while.
fun story on this. Yeah, no, I have a fun story. So I never used any CRM tool like this. I had my own team doing my own stuff, and so a couple years ago, as was mentioned, we dealt with some FTC issues, and that led to some fundamental architectural, infrastructural changes needed in the businesses. We needed to take a step back, and I just didn't want to burden the cost anymore. My cost of maintaining my own systems and tech was getting astronomical. It was insane. So when we wanted to put up some new funnels, I told the team to go investigate what we could use, and all systems had their pluses and minuses. And don't get me wrong, so will high level, but this is the game changing part of it. Um, so high level was leading, was one of the main ones, and I just couldn't figure out how to. So I told my team, and my team told me this one thing I wanted to do in my funnel was impossible on high level, and I found that to be anytime someone says anything is impossible, I'm like, challenge accepted. And I told my team to think bigger, said nothing's ever impossible. Have you spoken to them? Oh no, blah blah, this, that, blah, blah, blah. So I said, all right, sometimes you just gotta come in and do things yourself. So I went and I posted on my Facebook, and I said, any high level expert know about this? No one could really answer it, except for one person said, hey, why don't you go post in their community, their group? And I'm like, dude, that never leads to anything. Blah, blah. Anyways, I did it. So what do I have to lose? So I went into the high level community. Now, what's funny here, Paulson, which you don't know, is Wesley, or VP of marketing, at the same time on a parallel channel, which I didn't know about, is talking to my team. I had no idea. I'm working this thing on the tech side. He's working. So I end up going into the group and posting my question. It never gets posted. I don't see it live. I know it's an admin review, but I'm not kidding. I counted this later. 6 minutes later, I get a message from a guy. I'm going to be embarrassed to admit this, but I did not know anyone at high level. I did not know anything about high level. I get a message from a guy named Sean on high level. I'm sorry, on Facebook, and the logo is a high level logo. And I immediately thought some customer support. And they said, "Oh, what is the exact issue you're facing?" And I responded, said, "Could you please approve my post? I'd love to see what the community says." And this person insisted, "No, we can help. I can connect you direct to whoever you need. What do you need?" I got a little frustrated. I'm like, "Wow, this is a very pushy sales, like a customer support person. I could just
That
approve my
Sean
damn
Clark
post."
guy.
It's
That
like,
Sean Clark guy.
click, yeah, that's Sean Clark guy, right? So I click his name, pull up his profile. It says founder, CEO of Go High Level. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, that's like the guy. I told him the story. He was laughing, and next thing I know, I'm in a chat with like, I'm not even kidding, guys. It was like 20 different high level people, and I was told, like, I was trying to like help, and they're like, we got it, and then I was just like pushed out of the way, and like a day later, they're like, here, you're
Yeah,
right. Thank you for finding this issue. We didn't have this, but now we do. I'm like, huh?
yeah,
But
yeah,
how? What? What just happened? And at that point, I looked at my team and I said, "Oh, we're totally on Go High Level for the rest of our lives." Like that was epic. And
yeah.
that was before. And then I find out the next day. I walk out and I'm like pretty glowing about the experience of support. Um, and one of my biz dev guys is sitting right there, and I happen to mention, I'm like, man, this high level team is. And he looks at me. He's like, hey, how do you know about high level? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, did you? Did they go around me to get to you? I'm like, what are you talking about? Because he was working the deal with Wesley, and so it was just, I'm like, oh, dude, the universe has spoken. And then I just started using it. You guys sponsored a couple of our events, Wesley, Sean, Robin. They got out, you got out, we met at WebinarCon, and I was like, all right, this is just a marriage meant to be. Like this
Yeah,
is gonna
yeah,
happen. And then since
and
then, and you know what? That wasn't a wooing strategy. There wasn't a wooing
no,
strategy. You guys
no,
have stayed consistent at that level. And I found out from a bunch of other users who are not Anik Singal. Like a lot of people will be like, well, you're Anik. Of course they woo you. Because no, I found out from a lot of people that are not Anik Singal that they get the exact same, if not
yeah.
better treatment than even I get. And I love that.
Yeah, and that's our
That's my history with
style.
them.
That's our style. I mean, if you go into the platform, you see, you feel like maybe some of the features or whatever is not aligned to how you would actually function in business, tell us. We'll rebound and go and figure out the technology and the coding behind it and rewrite code however you want to make sure the product is elevated, and that's our style ultimately. Okay, next question. For a SaaS offer that has an unavoidable setup fee, what kind of an acquisition offer can you suggest?
Unavoidable acquisition setup fee. That's an interesting statement. So I would love to come back one day to poke holes at that at that statement, but I like that. I would offer a very low cost or free consultation. I hired an SEO company once, an agency that charged us 4 grand a month, and they did a $200 analysis, full analysis that we'll hand over to you. That's where I got the consultative close idea, by the way. This is years ago, not my idea. So I would encourage you to do something of similar sorts. For example, we're building a compliance tool. And so one of the things that you'll be able to do is go to the main website eventually, type in or give us a script, and we'll do a quick analysis for you and let you know all the problems we find or don't find. And my sales team, my outbound sales team, will be doing the same thing. They'll have a list of thousands of sites and site owners, and we'll do analysis on their sites and send them out. We'll automate the whole thing. And so you're going to get an email that says FTC violations found on your website. You're going to open that damn email, right? Like it's something that'll get your attention. So what can you do? How can you do an analysis? Can you do something for that person that then essentially serves them, but also shows them the desperate need they have for your SaaS? That would be probably where your acquisition offer lives.
I love that. And by the way, when it comes to SaaS and high level oriented training, there's a 5-day challenge. We do these workshops. We do masterminds literally once a quarter. We have a big conference in October where you can surround yourself with hundreds and thousands of marketers who are leveraging high level as a system to launch their SaaS.
Yeah.
So take
And
a look at those
I
things.
just committed, Paulson. I just for anyone who's interested, I just committed on Saturday when I was talking to Wesley. So
Wesley,
I will
yeah,
be at the
yeah.
July mastermind, yeah, and I will be at the October event. So I'll be at both of them.
Okay, awesome. By the way, we're in the process of launching a May Mastermind, which is going to be for very advanced agencies that are doing, I think, $1 million or more. So you do have to apply and get approved. It's going to be a totally different setting compared to the normal mastermind style that we do for beginners. So if you want details on that, we're happy to provide that. Okay, a few more minutes. Let me just rapid fire again. Nella's asking, I'm using GHL to generate leads for my own business. Is there a lead gen funnel for a service? An example, vehicle transportation instead of a product driven type of business. Answer is yes. If you go to our library, there's a ton of funnels there that you can download for service
Yeah.
oriented businesses. Mark is saying, will improving our Facebook ads be part of the training along with the lead follow up? Well, that'll be day three, right? Anik, we're going to talk about traffic on day three.
So, yeah, we don't talk. So day three, we talk about we call it the OPI model. So I'm not
Okay.
talking specifically about how to do Facebook ads. That would take guys, and we need days and days together. But
Yeah.
inside of the mastermind, absolutely we do. We have amazing experts we bring on. We get tactical, strategic on paid and free traffic and all of that. Traffic is a big conversation in our mastermind. So on Wednesday, I'm going to go over the high level, no pun intended, what you're supposed to do with traffic, OPI, and then if you're in the mastermind, we get into the specifics and really break the strategies down.
Okay, perfect. So, just one last time, I'm going to share my screen here, and while I have this up, there it is. That's the link that you want to use to jump into Anik Singal's offer. That's part of this 3-day workshop. It's going to allow you to either do the 97 or the 297, or also upgrade however you want. And then I'm going to provide Anik's team exactly the details of who you are so they can give you access to their courses, their programs, masterminds, and all of that stuff as well, just so you know. So, Anik, any final thoughts as we go into tomorrow? What are the expectations? Are there any homeworks, anything we should prepare for? Help us understand what your
I
goal is for tomorrow.
Yeah, so homework wise, not really, but I would love for everyone to walk away and think specifically about what is a good acquisition offer? How do you make yourself absolutely irresistible in your respective business? How are you able to go to a customer, potential customer, and say something that just makes them feel stupid to say no? It has to be that ridiculously good. And I have come to learn in my life and in my business now that whenever I think I have a good offer, I don't. That it takes me much, much, much more digging to get to the really, truly great offer, and it's worth every second. That's the homework. Tomorrow, nothing. Come prepared to learn about funnels. And tomorrow's funnels, just so we're clear, are very specific to information marketers. I want to be clear about that, right? Can local businesses and SaaSpreneurs use them? Absolutely. So the SaaSpreneur can use tomorrow's funnels, very, very much so. The local business, if you're a plumber, I don't think, well, no, the third funnel, you'll use the third funnel, you use the book a call funnel. So we'll do that. I love that what we did today, Paulson, where you kind of poking and prodding and helping along, because then tomorrow when I go over the funnels, you can be like, well, hey, which of these three funnels would XYZ person use?
Apply to,
And then
okay.
I can kind of tell you. But the thing I want to tell everybody is my snapshots are awesome and I love them, right? But at the same time, I don't know how many thousands of things that funnels that exist already in high level in the library. So for God forbid my particular snapshot doesn't end up being the right funnel for you, the right funnel for you is there. It's inside of the library that Go High funnel that the high level already offers you. And then my mastermind will still support you. We'll still train and guide you. And so you have a lot more than just what I'm offering, which is one of the reasons I'm partnering with them, because they take this huge piece of the puzzle off my plate.
Well, all right, everybody. 12 o'clock EST, that's New York time. For those of you that are international and watching this event, we'll see you tomorrow, and replays and everything will be available to you on all channels. Specifically, YouTube channel is where people can watch it. I love YouTube because you can speed us up at like 2x, 3x. You don't have to listen to us for 2 hours. But we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Take care, everybody.